When you look at a customized environment where it isn't just the teacher standing in front doing the same thing to all 30 kids all at the same time, um, how do you see that being helpful to you to be in a customized environment where you get to do more individualized kind of work? How do you see that?
Well, I see it in both ways. Like, Mr. Seltzer, I do all the technology with him. So I see the technology where kids are getting more used to the technology and the hands-on. They can learn it. Everything's on the internet. They can do it themselves. It's also great for me because I like to work ahead so if I have a golf meet or, track meet, I can not worry about homework and just enjoy the activities of the event, be with my friends, and just enjoy it.
So do you find where you get to do a little bit more individual pacing and things, are there times when you really zoom through fast and other times when it takes you a long time? Give us some examples.
Absolutely.
Give me some examples.
I guess with math, I'm a good math student as soon as I get how it works. I have a great math teacher where he'll let you struggle a little bit, and then he comes in and helps you, and you see everything clear as light or clear as day, and it works out perfectly. Other classes like science, I'm really good at science, so I can go through, a couple sections a day and don't have any issues.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the areas you struggle, though.
I don't know, what do you mean by that?
Well, are there some subjects that just take you longer and you can't
No.
go through as fast?
Not personally for me, no. I think it's just certain sections within each class. I mean, everyone's going to struggle with a certain point in the class.
I think sometimes people perceive that you're just going to have students that are hares and some that are tortoises, but my experience has been every student is kind of one or the other at
Right.
times. Do you find that in a customized environment, do you find you work more with other students, or do you feel pretty isolated as you work through your materials?
I would say it just depends where you're at.
Okay.
I'm far enough advanced in my classes where there are other kids with me, where I can sit for 2 hours on a Thursday afternoon and with 4 others around a table, and we can go through quite a bit of math. And then there's other times where I may be too far ahead, or I may be kind of in that middle where I'm kind of by myself. But I would say the majority I'm with kids that are in the same boat as me and wanting to get ahead.
How do they do that with flexible grouping? Because there's going to be times when you're with some students, but then other times one of you may move ahead or go in a different direction. How do you handle flexible grouping where you're working with kids? Excuse me just a minute.
I would say that, at least with my class, I know my class very well. I mean, I've been with most of them since kindergarten.
I suppose.
Most of the kids, we all know where we're at, and we all know our weak spots, and we can help each other out. So I would say there's not an issue with any grouping or figuring out kind of where you fit in with your studies.
Okay. Do you find there are still times when teachers do direct instruction, where just everybody, we all need to know this, or
Yeah.
there are times though that
There are times when that does happen, but it's not like every day for the whole class period. For example, we do Thursday schedules where we do half an hour class all morning, and then the afternoon is, we call it a study block, and you can work on homework with other friends. We do a teachers as advisors group. We meet on that afternoon. Like those Thursdays, a lot of times we'll get like a short 10-15 minute lecture of here's where we're at, here's where we've been, and here's where we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would say we do get the lecture and the in-class discussion, but it's not what it was when I was in second grade and that's all you did is you sat and listened to a teacher.
Right. Do you find you get good feedback? How do teachers let you know how you're doing? Is it a traditional grade, or do they have other ways of helping you know your progress?
Well, I guess a couple ways. We're in a small enough school where the teacher knows you by your name, know where you come from, know the activities you're in. So they meet with you, and I can sit here and have a discussion with the teacher, and they can show me, well, this is where you struggle, and help me get past that struggle. They also do the regular grading scale, A, B, C, D, and then I know we're starting to do that transition to smarter balance of the standards.
Mm-hmm.
So we're slowly getting into that and teaching the kids and the teachers how to, if you don't meet the standard, how to pass it and exceed above the standard.
Do you find that with the grading, I mean, is it traditional grading for the most part, A, B, C, D?
Yes.
Or do they have other ways of giving you a better way of knowing, because other than percentages and grades?
Not really, no.
Okay.
A lot of it is the A, B, and C, and D. But most kids that really do care about their grades and want the high grade, they'll go to the teacher and they'll have a one-on-one with them, and they'll work through any issues and understand why they got a B instead of an A, or why they got a C instead of a B, or whatever it may be.
How is the relationship with the teacher different in this environment? In your mind, do you interact more with teachers in a customized environment, or?
I would say in the actual education of whatever project it is, no.
Okay.
We're a lot of work on your own, ask questions when you need it. I would say when it starts getting towards the testing or the grading time, that's when I get a lot more interaction, because, I mean, every teacher wants to see a student succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to meet with you a lot more and help you out.
So there's certain aspects you really are more on your own, and then there are other aspects.
Absolutely.
Conversation. I'm going to grab a cough drop here real quick, so I don't keep interrupting your interview with a cough. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
So when you're working through materials at your own pace, what do you do if you get behind? I mean, are there things that you do you ever worry about that, getting behind, or?
Personally, I do, yes. I'm a person that I want to be ahead. I want to stay with the pack. I don't want to fall behind. There have been times where, yes, I have, fallen behind a little bit, but I guess the teachers, they don't want you to do that, so they're going to help you out in any way they can to get you back up to where you would like to be and where you should be. And our school is great at giving us opportunities to do that, where if we're behind, to get back up.
Okay. Do you find that, I know some teachers, they look at this idea that students can work at their own pace, makes them nervous, because they think, well, the unmotivated students, that's just going to make them worse, that they're just going to get further and further behind. Do you see that at all?
I do, and I've had teachers ask me that too, and I'm just going to say that I think no matter what we do, I think there's always going to be that one person that may struggle with it and may be behind. I wish there was a way that they wouldn't be behind, but I just think no matter what we do, there's always going to be a person that struggles. But
you don't think customization makes it any worse?
No. I think the main thing is, if you're doing the mass customized, to have a great teacher there to help the student, because with a great teacher, that kid's not going to be behind. So I would say it all starts with having a great teacher that is ready to help you out and get you where you need to be.
Sometimes we hear the term teacher pace, that teachers kind of set a pace so that students understand. How is that communicated? How do you know that you're at a place that a teacher wants you to be?
Most classes, kind of either Monday or Tuesday morning, depends on when we have school. I would say the first 5 to 10 minutes of each class is kind of like a daily briefing, and they will inform us of where we need to be at by the end of the week, what's coming up in the week, test dates, and they're great at keeping that going and letting people know. Also through email, or we have a program called Blackboard Learn,
Mhm.
which teachers can put all the test dates up, put all of your assignments up. So I would say there's a lot of ways you can get the information.
In this environment, do you get to have many discussions with those students if everybody's kind of working at their own pace? It seems like it'd be hard to have good conversations or discussions with students. Do you find that you do have opportunities for that, or do you miss it?
No, there's plenty of opportunities. With my class, I keep going back to my class. I have a group of kids that are really the same pace as I am, and they have the same standards as I do. If they want to excel, they want to get A's, they want to get high B's, and they want to do great. So I would say I have great discussions, and for those kids that they can find a group where this is about the right pace for me, we can work at that pace together.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there's about 9 of us that we all work about the same pace, and we can sit around a table like this, and we can just have discussions, help each other out.
So you find that do you actually have opportunities where you can truly collaborate in a project where it's not just a single student working on something? Do you have opportunities where maybe it's a group project?
Yeah, there are a lot of the times with actual projects and not just your standard learning, the teachers do give you opportunities to, if you'd like to work with a group, you may. If not, you can work by yourself. That way, the kids that want to work with groups and work better in that, they do get the opportunity. And the kids that are better at working by themselves also get the opportunity to work by themselves.
How do you think customized learning is helping you to getting ready for the future? I mean, is there an aspect about it that you think maybe helps you once you leave school?
I think the whole thing of working by yourself at times, I mean, in jobs, you're going to work by yourself at one time. Another time, you're going to work with a group, maybe if you're a writer, you're going to work with a group for a writing project at times. And a lot of work is you work at your own pace, and when you get done, you go on to the next project.
From a self-discipline standpoint, do you see that this has made any difference for you as far as how you view your own work and how you move forward with it?
I would say yes. I think that this has given me more opportunities to advance me and make me a better student, a better person, a better citizen of the country, state, all of that. I think that the standard learning, I really do believe that can hold you back if you are a person that likes to get ahead and advance, because you're kind of stuck in just sitting here listening to a lecture or discussion, and you really don't get a chance to get ahead and work like that. But
are there times that you can really go into depth into things? Can you think of an example of something that you really got to dig in way deeper than you would have in a traditional setting?
Specific examples, I guess. I don't know how good it's going to be, but in history, we studied the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Our teacher gave us 2 choices we can do. We can either read a book as a book group and get in depth with it, and then we had to write a paper of what we believed happened, because there are so many theories of what happened. And that also gave us you need to think for yourself. There's not this is a right or wrong answer. So that helped us out in that section. And then the other section of the class just studied what the textbook said, and then they took a test over that. Mm-hmm. So that kind of gave the two sections of the class. Either they can think for themselves if that's what they like doing best, or they can take as we call it around here, the black and white.
Black and white. That's good. Um, from your standpoint, do you think your parents understand that your learning is a little bit different than the way they went to school?
I do. Um, my parents are absolutely wonderful, and they agree that they want me to do well in school, and they understand that this is different than what they learned, 10, 15 years ago, but they're always there and ready to help and do what they can to help me out, even though it is a different learning environment and different studies.
Mm-hmm. So you find them pretty supportive, even if it looks different?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you think they don't understand about it that they struggle with?
I would say the only thing that they might struggle with is the in-depth of it. And they're not quite used to all of the self-learning, I guess. They're used to the in-classroom learning, but they're great and they're always there helping me out. So
If you were superintendent of school and you said, I get to say how school is done, what would you do different in the school right now? What would you say schools should be doing that they're not right now?
well, in Gayville, I would say I would change nothing. I think we have it perfect. Again, I'm going to go back to Mr. Selcher and I. We work very closely with the technology. I think if you're going to do the mass customized learning, technology is wonderful to have in the classroom. I mean, our high school, every student in the high school has their own personal laptop they can take home with them, and they use that for their studies. And then we have carts in each classroom that they can use, but they can't take home. So I would say that if you're going to do the mass customized, the technology goes hand in hand with it. So I wouldn't change anything here.
So let's go down the technology path a little bit.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
So let's say your family moved to Viborg. Next, are you a junior or
I'm a sophomore.
you're a sophomore?
Yep.
So just hypothetically, let's say your family uproots and you moved to Viborg. Viborg's the traditional school. It's the black and white school. It's teachers lecturing, students in rows. They found out that you came from Gayville, so the teachers bring you in and the principal and the superintendent sit down. Parker, tell us a little bit about what you were doing in Gayville. We're interested in that. Do you think it's a better learning environment? What would you tell them?
I would say it's a wonderful learning environment. I think it's better than just in the classroom learning, because it really does prepare you for the future. I mean, not too many times in a job are you just going to sit, in an office with your boss and he's going to tell you exactly how to do everything. He's going to say, go out, see if you can do this, come to me if you need help. And that's really what we have here. So I'd say this is a lot better than the in-class learning.
With the technology side of it, what tools do you find most useful for you to help you move forward? What kind of things do you work with all the time?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, like software programs or tools that you use. What do you rely on that you couldn't live without now?
I would say probably obviously the internet, just because that's where I can get so many answers. Here we use all the Windows products. We don't do any Apple stuff. So I would say all the the Windows products, really just the whole computer by itself it would really change the whole learning environment if we didn't have those.
Are you doing things in the cloud? So for instance, like Google Docs, you using?
Yes, we do use those. That is also a lot of the group projects. If I'm home not feeling well, I can take the day off at home and, my group can be working on a project and I can log on to Google Docs and use that, and I can sit and, have a group chat with my friends and work through it. I guess like the OneDrive or the cloud. I'm not very familiar with it. I don't use that as much as I should for, accessing my documents anywhere. But I would say technology's really good for it.
Mm-hmm. Do you help with some of the support of the technology then?
Yep.
What do you find where people struggle the most with the technology side of it?
I would say the students is just seeing what all you can do with it. I mean,
So they're not using it to its full potential, or?
right now, no. We're getting there though, and it's the same way. I really got into the technology 2 years ago. I mean, we film for all of our home games, and Mr. Selchuk gave me the opportunity to do it once for him, and I fell in love with technology, and I'm helping him out all summer, all year, doing it. So I would say the students is just seeing what it can actually do. The teacher standpoint, from what I've seen, and I can't speak for them, but from what I've seen, is it's also seeing what it actually has to offer and the advancing of technology. I would say that's always a struggle, and that's going to be a struggle with no matter what you do.
From your standpoint, if you had a teacher, like he said earlier, that was interested in customizing, what would you tell a teacher? This is how you should do it.
I would say, again, the computers in the classroom or the personal computer for the student, some sort of browser that you can put all the students on, like the Blackboard Learn, where I can access all of the documents at the time that I need from wherever I'm at to put the assignments on. And then I would say that's really what you need.
Okay. From your standpoint, it's the access anytime, anywhere. The technology lets you get to it. I'm going to ask you specifically filters. Where do they come into play in this? Are they an inhibitor to you, or are you able to get to most of the things you need?
I would say I can get to any document I need it anytime I need it.
Okay.
As long as if the teacher saved it right or I saved it right, I can get it wherever I need it, whenever I need it.